What fact did you learn at an embarrassingly late age? I renamed a goldfish Rainbow when I was 7 because it kept changing color every few months. I told friends about this fish for years, like it was some mystical kaleidoscope fish. It hit me in the face a couple months ago that the fish wasn't changing, parents were just replacing it when it died without telling me. Difference between foreshadowing and foreplay. Grandmother was amused. Mom was mortified. When I was a young boy I had a black football coach. I'm white. I asked him, "Hey coach, do black people get hotter in the sun than white people?" And he responded, "Well, I don't know, I've never been white." And then it hit me. Oh. I thought that when people lose a body part their organism could regenerate the missing part until I was 13. If I saw someone with a half of an arm missing I thought, "Goops, his arm is almost complete." I thought I feel like a dog in heat meant that you felt uncomfortably warm, like a dog in hot weather would feel. I was in the back of my friend's Suburban on a road trip through Southern California when her parents asked if we wanted them to turn on the air conditioning. Yes, please. I feel like a dog in heat. From about 5th grade to 8th, I had the wrong understanding of what a dildo was. My friend Joe told me that it was when you cut off someone's ps and put it on a stick. Then I mentioned that one day, and everyone was just like, "What the ps, dude?" One time in 7th grade science, my class was having a discussion about volcanoes, and then out of nowhere, a kid in the back yelled in the most surprised voice ever, "Wait, volcanoes are real?" I learned that I grew up in a white trashy family around 10 through television. One night, I was watching TV and Jeff Foxworthy came on. I was a very content-only child who, to the best of my knowledge, got everything they ever wanted and had no idea about things could/needed to be otherwise. Well, old Jeff was well into his skit, and I was avidly listening. If you watch TV on a TV that sits on top of a broken TV, you might be a redneck. Wait, what? I'm watching TV sitting on top of a broken TV. If you have a broken down car sitting in your front yard that hasn't been moved in years, you might be a redneck. We have 5 of those. WTH, this isn't normal. If you have appliances in your yard. If you've got shacks in your yard. If you live in a trailer next to a house. If etc. You might be a redneck. I looked around and painfully realized that I was living all of those things. So, that was the day I found out I was a redneck. I didn't know that dusters were used for cleaning dust off furniture until I was in middle school. When I misbehaved, my mother would beat me with a duster, so I assumed its only purpose was to be a beating stick. I figured the fuzzy part of it was to provide comfort for my mother's hand as she hit me. Just talked to a coworker the other day who didn't know his name was Jason until 3rd grade. His initials were JT and his family called him by that, and so he thought that was his name. During roll call in class the teacher was asking for a Jason and he just sat there thinking some sucker is late for class. Then the name JT was never called and confusion ensued. I wasn't too old when I found out the truth to this, but it is kind of funny. When I was a kid, I didn't realize there were 2 meanings to the word fine. I thought it just mean okay. I didn't know it could mean a monetary fee for doing something wrong. So I saw signs everywhere that said no littering. 200 fine. I thought it meant you can't litter. But if you feel like leaving 200, that's fine. And I thought, who the ps would do that? I was probably in 5th grade before the light bulb went off. I didn't realize you were supposed to chew sunflower seeds to get the seed inside. I thought you just ate the black seeds whole. The actual definition of fornicate. For the longest time I thought it just meant to flirt with someone. I was a few months away from turning 17 and The Dark Knight was coming out. I checked IMDb to see what actors and characters would be in it, and that's when I learned that Harvey Dent's evil nickname is Two-Face, not toothpaste as I had always thought. I never saw the name written down. In the animated series half his face was white and the other half was blue, and I just never really questioned it. Somehow the conversation of superhero names came up with my girlfriend 29 the other day, and she mentioned Wolverine being named after wolves. I kinda looked at her and said Wolverine was named after wolverines. She stared back blankly. One Google Images search later, and I had taught a biology major about a new animal. That the tuna isn't a little bitty fish, but a really big fish. I always thought the song I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus meant that the mother was having a torrid affair with a fat dude in a red suit, not that it was the father dressed in costume. I thought the Amish were like an old-timey group of actors who were just really into it until I was about 18. Revealed that. And was promptly made fun of because they in fact are a functioning society who actually live that way, not actors. A co-worker was helping me move something outdoors, and he suddenly is staring at the sky bewildered. I asked if he was okay and, "It's you not." He says, "Whoa. I can see the it's day." He's 24 and I had no idea how to respond to that. Until I was 17 I thought getting knocked up just meant having sex. As a guy, this was an awkward thing to wish upon myself. Man, I wish Sarah would knock me up. Like real good. That the little piggy who went to market wasn't going shopping for groceries. Last year it hit me. I'm 28. Edit. Holyps. I didn't realize there were so many of us. I'm legitimately sorry for ruining the nights/childhoods of so many 20 to 30 somethings. Edit 2. And up to 50 somethings. And thank you kind stranger for the Reddit gold. I'm only sorry that my top rated comment of all time is responsible for ruining so many childhoods. Probably last edit. It gets worse. I was 23 on a trip with my girlfriend in San Francisco. We were both getting ready for the day in the bathroom and I needed my hair gel. So I asked if she could hand me my toilet treat bag. She seemed confused. I again asked, "Can you please hand me my bag of toilet treats?" She ran out of the bathroom laughing. TLDR. I thought toiletries was toilet treats. SMH. Until January of 2014, when I was 28, I thought that the 7 seas were the 7 seas, meaning the 7 continents. I don't know the age I actually realized it, but for a long time I thought a word brockchute existed and was a synonym for sponsored. So many of my childhood TV shows were brought to you by the companies and the commercials that followed. Edit. Holyps. Thought I'd run this up the flagpole, but never expected such a response. Glad we are not alone out there. I thought queef meant a really loud, prolonged butt fart. I gave myself the moniker Queef Master because I can fart on command. No wonder my friends' parents thought I was a weird kid. I always bragged that I beat my dad at basketball when I was 4 or 5. So much so that it never occurred to me that he let me win until I was in my late teens. Late edit. I wouldn't have been so proud of this incident if he always let me win at things instead of motivating me to improve. Now would I? For most of my life I assumed Neil Armstrong was a black man, because I'd never seen Neil outside the spacesuit, but I had seen Louis Armstrong. It never occurred to me that there would be anything unusual about a black astronaut in the 60s. Edit. It truly warms my heart to know I was not alone in this childhood misunderstanding. That est. 19XX actually meant established. I always thought it was estimated because they forgot the exact date and just said the year. I'm half Mexican and half Irish. Whenever I went to visit my Hispanic grandparents, I would always call them abuelito and abuelita. It wasn't until my senior year of high school in Spanish class that I realized abuelito/a is Spanish for grandpa/grandma and not their actual names. The Domino's logo is not 2 dice. There was that guy who didn't know that men sat on the toilet seat when they poop. He was sitting on the rim of the toilet his whole life. Here's the thread. Edit. So apparently this whole sitting on the rim thing is more common than I thought due to the amount of replies saying they sit on the rim of their toilets to poop. I can only assume there's more of you rim sitters who aren't speaking up. At least rimmers can take solace in knowing they aren't alone. Hell, someone you love may be sitting on the rim right now. You're all weirdos. That the female urethra does not exit at the clitoris. My dad would tell me things to mess with me as a kid. Usually he would remember eventually to correct it. Sometimes, however, he forgot. I went through the first 17 years of my life thinking an artichoke was a nocturnal rodent. Went to Italian restaurant and was horrified to see artichoke hearts on the menu. My girlfriend still gives me ps for it 3 years later. Edit. Obligatory thanks for the gold edit. So thanks for my first gold/you/Rajakati. At 16, I mentioned to my so at the time that the statue of David was missing a testicle, which I thought unusual since David was the ideal male form for the time period. I was then informed that both male testes come in one cute little sack and are not divided into 2 separate sacks as originally thought. I thought that boys only spermed once a month. Like girls only release an egg once a month. I knew they just way more than that. I thought it was just like Russian roulette though. Never knew when it was going to contain sperm. I was 18 when I realized that wasn't how it worked. That there is more than one whale called Shamu. I was in my mid-20s. Had just moved to Texas. And a SeaWorld commercial came on. I mentioned how surprised I was that they shipped Shamu all the way across the country just to make appearances here. My wife and mother-in-law still won't let me live it down. I thought the term prima donna was prima donna. I always wondered what happened before her that would demand a new term. A friend also asked me why Ellen was named Ellen the Generous. He said I get that she is generous, but she isn't that noteworthy. It's not like she's Alexander the Great or something. I was 15 when I looked at a box of Fruit Loops and realized that they didn't spell fruit correctly. That planes have headlights. Pickles come from cucumbers. There actually are carrots in carrot cake. I assumed it was a joke because it's orange and we were all in on it. My ex-wife did not know helicopters could hover until around age 23. She saw a copter over a scene in San Diego and asked me how is that helicopter just floating in one spot? I was like what? I was 34 before I realized that the Beatles spell their name Beatles because it has the word beat in it. I never really considered it before, just kind of thought it was a funny way to spell Beatles. I just learned a few months ago that lightning does not happen when two clouds touch each other. That was a very sad and very disappointing day. At age 17, finally learned that a Mini Cooper is manufactured by the make Mini and the line of cars is Coopers. Until this I always thought that Mini Coopers were Mini Coopers and always wondered why I never saw a get a full-sized Coopers. I figured that the Minis were just exceedingly more popular for some reason. To be fair, I cannot think of a single other model of car from Mini. I live in the Southwest US. TLDR, Mini Coopers are not miniature size of a full-sized Cooper. Edit. I've received a lot of replies and must say I'm not as embarrassed about this after all of the people learning this just now by reading my comment. I thought it was equivalent to a 17-year-old not knowing the sun is a star or something like that. I thought it was War I and War II instead of World War. Everyone always just said it like War because Texas. How to tie shoes. When I was little and my mother tried teaching me, I simply said I didn't feel like it. This charade continued until she just gave up. Years of Velcro shoes ensue. In the 7th grade, my older sister sat me down and said something along the lines of you need to know how to tie your shoes. And that's when I learned to tie my shoes. I still suck at it. I take a good 30 to 45 seconds per shoe. It's bad. Edit. I'm a lefty. Edit 2. Misread title. Didn't see the word fact. Apologies. I still suck at tying shoes though. What ups was? Someone told me when I was young it was a race of people. I pronounced paradigm as paradigm until I was at least 19. I was 22 before I realized what the numbers in Minnesweeper meant. Did you know spleens actually exist? I swear. Until I was 22 I just thought it was a word someone made up because it sounded funny and visceral. Like jibs. Edit. Yes, okay, jibs are real too. I'm sorry. Euthanasia. I cannot be the only one. Edit. I was referring to euthanasia. I only realized that BUPS was an actual round hole at about 16 when I saw it in PS. I previously assumed it was just a big long slit between the cheeks. My best friend freshman year asked me how accurately a man had to jizz on a woman's breasts to get her pregnant. Boy, was that a surprise to him. What an uncircumcised penis looked like in resting mode. Edit. I live in a country where circumcision is very uncommon. Wife thought being overdressed meant wearing many layers of clothes. She still doesn't really believe me. I only learned this year that ponies aren't just baby horses. The J logo actually spells jet. I thought it was just a cool swirly design. I was 22. How to ride a bicycle. Also, Ray-Bans are called that because they ban the sun's rays from entering your eyes. Edit. Some of you seem to be worried that I still haven't learned how to cycle. I actually learned in middle school 12 to 13 for those outside of the US. For everyone who still hasn't learned, these two methods 1, 2 are excellent. I used something like the second one, just repeatedly coasting down a hill to get comfy with balance, and then adding pedaling as I got more used to it. Give it a try, it's a fun and useful skill to have. FYI, the second video kinda sucks, but the techniques are sound. It was the first one that I could find with a demonstration of the hill technique.